That me. Okay, right. So today's session is on NTUC. So today we are talking about caregivers. We title it "Take a Break." Yeah. Okay. Let me just. Okay. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our talk today. So today's topic is about caregivers, as you see from the first slides. Yeah. So in order for us to facilitate the session, kindly can I ask you to mute your microphone when you're not speaking, and unmute that when you want to respond or ask questions, or you want to place any questions or answers in the chat box. So if you can, you can turn on your video and then to participate and enjoy. Okay, right. I'm Susan, and I'm the speaker today. So a little bit of myself, I have been working in the healthcare and social and community sectors for a long time. And I joined NTUC, to help our clients with physical and mental health issues, as well as, providing support for their caregivers and loved ones. I have a bachelor degree in psychology, and I have a master's in guidance and counseling. I'm a qualified counselor, and my special interest is in psychiatric rehabilitation and case management. Okay, so today's content. So today's content, we are going to talk about 6 things. So we are going to cover what is caregiving. So basically, this is the basic concept of caregiving. And we also want to talk about forms of caregiving. And, forms of caregiving can be informal and informal. And then what are the caregiving activities, and, what are the relationship between the caregiver and the care recipient. And then, of course, we want to talk about burnout. Caregivers also sometimes can get burnout. And then lastly, we'll talk about self-care. So let's jump in. So what is caregiving? Caregiving is an act of providing care, for daily needs of someone who is unable to care for themselves. The care may actually involve like addressing the physical and emotional needs of someone who, requires continuous support and, attention from caregivers like ourselves. And caregiving for, caring for someone sometimes can require a lot of time and, effort. And the person or the individual that, we are caring for could be a loved one, like, a family members, our spouse, could be our child, relatives, or sometimes we even help, looking after neighbors or even a friend. Caregiving can be, short term, and of course it can be long term as well. So it depends on the condition of, the care recipient that we are looking after. And of course, care recipient can also be a loved one. And most of the time, caregiving, usually, occurs at home, because most of the time, our loved ones are at home, so we are actually looking after them at home as well. Okay. So what are the forms of caregiving? So earlier I just mentioned, caregiving can be formal, can be informal. So, even caregivers themselves, so formal, we are talking about engaging a service, something that you have to pay for, and sometimes these individuals or the people or the staff that we actually engage them, they could have, have formal training, or even receive certain education in providing care. And many a times they are also licensed and regulated. For example, hospitals, hospice, care centers, all right? And caregiving can also either take place at home or even at a facility. Sometimes we do get admitted to hospitals, or maybe our loved ones are in the nursing home or in daycare centers. And as I said, this is a paid service, and they also provide for, like, for example, nurses, many of the nursing aides, they actually go to school, and have formal training and education, before they can even take care of somebody else. And in fact, domestic helpers, I also include that in, because many a times, some of us, whom we are taking care of our loved ones, but we also engage a helper to, at home to help us. And some of these foreign workers, they might be actually trained in their country. In fact, I myself have come across many of these domestic helpers who are nurses in their home country, and they come to Singapore to work, even though they work as a maid, but they're actually taking care of someone who, of high care needs. In Singapore, we are very fortunate because MOH also, under AIC, where they actually provide training for caregivers. Even you and I, we also can be trained, learn the skills of how to take care of someone at home. And the next one we want to talk about is informal caregivers. So informal caregivers are people who are very closely connected, meaning that there's a relationship involved, like, for example, a family members, a spouse, a relative, or even friends, right? Most of the time, caregivers, they themselves also live with their care recipient or their loved ones. And of course, to take care of their physical and emotional needs, of course. Yeah. Okay. So caregiving activities involve like okay. Okay. So wait. Okay. So many a times, the caregivers whom we are looking, the care recipients we are looking after, requires, these are just very basic physical needs, activities of daily living, which we call it in short ADLs, where, they actually need help from us, to help them to, even, like, for example, if the morning they wake up, they need to transfer from their bed, to the chair, and then they need to walk. Ambulating means that, walking can be on a wheelchair, can be a walking frame or walking stick, or they just walk on their own. But sometimes they also need some assistance on that. And then, of course, toileting. Toileting refers to, the physical toilet itself, going to the toilet and, cleaning themselves. And then next, bathing. Bathing can also involve showering. Maybe they actually need some help, from their caregivers to help them to clean themselves. And then next, dressing, putting on clothes, groom themselves, etc. And then assist them to eat. In fact, there are also some of our loved ones or care recipients who are not able to eat on their own. They cannot even hold a spoon. Sometimes they also need someone to feed them. Okay. So besides the activities of daily living ADLs, we also look at the other ones, which are instrumental, a little bit more in depth. We call it IADLs. Okay, so for example, food preparation, someone need to do the preparation, need to cook. Yeah, and likewise for the others will be housekeeping, cleaning the house, mopping, sweeping, etc. And then, of course, laundry, washing of clothes, hanging up the clothes. And also, next one we'll be talking about shopping. Shopping can, going out to buy something. Let's say, for example, shop for grocery, and then the use of telephone. Some of our loved ones or care recipients are not even know how to make phone calls, and then, the caregivers also have to help them to make a call. And then we talk about medication. Sometimes they are not able to manage their own medication, also require some form of help, like what are the doses, what are medication for. And next we talk about managing finances. Many a times I have also come across many of the caregivers also have to help, their care recipients to, safeguard their money, buying things, counting money, and, manage their account, even bank accounts. And then using of transportation. And then, of course, if let's say our care recipient need to go to the doctors, for example, do they actually know how to use the transport? Sometimes they actually need someone to actually bring them physically there, yeah, to say go out or going to see the doctors, for example. So these are the basic needs, that our caregivers, are providing for their care recipients or their loved ones. Okay, and next we want to also talk about social and emotional support from caregivers to their care recipient. So earlier I talked about all the ADLs. IDLs is just an example of some of the our very basic physical needs that our care recipients are, they required from us. Maybe not all, some might be all, some might be a few that you need to assist them. There are also, I do know of some, say for example, seniors or elderly people, they actually need full support of everything, and that also includes social and emotional needs. Okay, caregiving, as I said, it actually goes beyond taking care of just basic needs itself, eating, drinking, making sure they take a shower and all this. But what about the other aspects of caregiving? Very often, caregivers will also, require to attend to their loved ones' social and emotional needs. Like spending time together may actually develop a closer relationship. And at the same time, you also would enhance, the feelings of love and care between both of them. Okay, say for example, caregivers sometimes we are so engrossed with basic needs. We want to make sure that our loved ones, whom we are taking care of, make sure that they have food to eat. We spend a lot of time feeding them, showering them, make sure they are clean, taking the medication, bringing them to see doctor, etc. Many a times we may actually overlook certain things that maybe we also need to communicate with them. For example, listen to them, talk to them. Sometimes they might be not feeling well, under the weather, comfort them when they are unwell or when they are sad. And sometimes also can go for a walk, exercise together. These are things that we can do together, improve, the relationship at the same time. And in Singapore, we are no lack of gardens. It's like everywhere. If you your neighborhood, you just go walk out of your house, you go downstairs or within short distance, there's a garden. It's so easy, can just go or walk. Even though sometimes we find that our care recipients are on a wheelchair, but it's okay. You can always, if they are able to leave the house, you can put them on a wheelchair and go down for a walk, exercise together. I think it's fun, or sometimes you might want to do something indoor, maybe watch a movie, or maybe your favorite drama. I don't know, there might be a lot of shows that you might enjoy, or maybe even share a hobby. Hobby can be anything: gardening, cooking, or doing some handicraft, or you want to do some sewing or crochet or knitting, or even drawing. I do know of people also have karaoke at home, yeah, and then they sing at home. Just something fun and a way to communicate, at the same time to enhance relationship. At the same time, also provide that emotional support, between the caregivers and the care recipient. Okay, yeah. So I've just mentioned about relationship. Yeah, caregiving sometimes can be thought to be like a one-way kind of a transaction. It's like one-way ticket, where we feel like, oh, the person receiving the care is assumed to be the only person benefiting from the relationship. But actually, is it true? In fact, it's usually not the case. Yeah, I mean, typically caregivers also receive mutual support, emotionally or otherwise, from the person they provide care for. even though the person receiving care needs, also, needs help, some or all the time, sometimes I do understand that the person receiving the care also need some form of help. Sometimes they need all the time, they need help all the time. But the thing is that, they also can provide love, care and support to their caregivers as well. I mean, this is especially true, if you as a caregiver is a family member, a spouse, a close friend, a close friend or a very close family member, or even a relative, or even very good friends, and both of you actually can benefit from the relationship. Like for example, these are some of the things that, a little bit in depth because it's all about emotions, talking about relationship. And in fact, I would think that, most parties can benefit from this, like for example, developing personal growth, learning from each other, yeah, and also to able to appreciate and be thankful to each other even, and perhaps might even find meaning and a purpose in life. In that, the quality of life and relationship can, also improve. Okay, so my last sentence was about the care recipients can also provide care, love, and support for their caregivers, which is true, because if they are actually people who are closely connected, like husband and wife, I'm sure that even though, let's say for example, if the wife is the caregiver and the husband is the loved one, the care recipient, I'm sure that the husband also will love the wife in return, who is the caregiver, and likewise the other way. So it's always a two-way relationship and not just one way. Okay, yeah, and caregiving is emotionally and physically very taxing, because you're looking after someone. You need to put in a lot of time and effort, yeah, and everything is involved. But the thing is that there is also great joy, the benefit itself, joy and benefit in the mutuality of caring and being cared for. So mutuality actually means like the sharing of, relationships, feelings, between the two person or even more. I do know that come across where some of the caregivers are not just looking after one person. There are some of them looking after two, particularly if happens to be their elderly parents, yeah. So this relationship is not just between say the let's say the daughter and the mother, but sometimes it could be the daughter with the father and the mom, all together. Yeah. So although some people may view like, oh, caregiving as an obligation, because, oh, this is my mom, this is my dad, yeah, I'm obligated, to look after them. But the thing is that most people also provide their care, because why? Because they want to help those that they love, and people who love, they love and they care for, about to thrive and also to be part of their lives. Yeah. So when people view caregiving as an obligation, sometimes this can cause tension and resentment in the relationship. So sometimes it may be good to helpful to think about your own situation. Say if you are looking after someone, and all the reasons why you are providing care for your loved ones, and what you actually hope to receive in return. Is it because you love them and you want to provide as much care as possibly you could, or maybe you're just looking after them out of obligation? Yeah. So perhaps that you want to think about, about your situation. If let's say if you are looking after someone, or maybe previously you had look after maybe a loved one, or multiple of them, maybe a few of your family members, for example, and why you are caring for them. Yeah. So I think there's something to think about. Perhaps that maybe at the end of the session you can share with us about your caregiving journey. Yeah, I think that would be good to share with some of our fellow caregivers. I believe some of us also, I myself am a caregiver too. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the okay. I just put a little pictures, just something to think about. Yeah. So let's talk about burnout. I think since that we are so involved, especially I already mentioned about, being a caregiver, yeah, because you're looking after someone or many people in the family. Yeah, it's very stressful, physically, mentally, emotionally. You are just giving up everything. At times that we might even, go out of juice. Yeah, the battery go flat. Uh, Too overwhelming, too much to do, and very little time. Sometimes you do feel that, right? Yeah, then that's where what happened. Yeah, your battery go flat and then you just cannot take it anymore. That's where what burnout is all about. Okay. Yeah. So what is caregivers burnout? Is a state of physical and emotional and mental exhaustion that can happen when you dedicate a lot of time and energy to care for someone, and that someone whom you're cared for cannot look after themselves, and so everything falls on you. Yeah. And that also the reason why many caregivers who experience burnout, so they will feel very tired, very frustrated, sometimes they get very anxious. Yeah, at times also you feel sad. Sometimes you grieve about the loss, sense of hopelessness and even helpless. Yeah, and then you start to isolate yourself. Yeah, and then you become very withdrawn. You don't want to, you know, uh, engage somebody. You don't want to, engage or even activities and so on. Yeah. So these are some of the symptoms of a caregiver who actually suffers from burnout. So those okay this little emoji, yeah, I think you can see, yeah. So this is just some of the burnout, especially you're looking after someone who really need a lot of care. Sometimes you get very angry, yeah, very frustrated. You also sometimes also feel sad. Many a times, many of us sometimes have to even give up your job just to look after, your loved one at home. Sometimes you really don't have the choice, lah, and you have to give up your job. And then sometimes you will find that all those who are working and then they work part time and then they spend, maybe they got a helper at home, but then at the same time also they also have to juggle home, what's going on at home at the same time workplace. Yeah, then sometimes you might feel guilty that yeah, maybe I didn't spend enough time, maybe yeah, then yeah, so sometimes you feel very helpless, or maybe you think that yeah, there's no hope already, yeah, yeah. So a lot of emotions start to creep in, and then you will feel very occupied. And very occupied, the thing is that you get very overwhelmed, and that's where the burnout comes in. Okay, let's talk about some of the signs and symptoms. Okay, not everyone who has a burnout. Sometimes it has maybe not the full burnout. Sometimes it could be starting to creep in. Maybe you feel like, for example, physically and emotionally you are very tired, very exhausted. At times maybe yeah, then you feel very stressed out, and then you start to eat a bit more, or sometimes totally cannot eat. Yeah, and then you find that your weight start to fluctuate. Maybe you lose a lot of weight, or you gain a lot of weight. And other times maybe even affect your sleep. You might not be able to sleep well, or maybe a lot of dreams or disturbed sleep. Other times you might get sick more often. Yeah. And then At times also because you did not have enough sleep, you didn't eat well, then you might not be able to concentrate. Yeah, let's say in the daytime, you want to do your task, but you cannot concentrate, and then you lost focus. And then sometimes you get you're very irritated. Yeah, sometimes people come and talk to you, then you feel very frustrated, so irritating you, so that you feel that, right? Or feel very angry. Maybe you feel angry towards yourself. Maybe you lose your cool, and then maybe your recipient asks you for something, and then you shouted at him or her, and then you feel, yeah, I'm so angry myself. Why did I shout? Or you're angry with somebody else. And then feelings of hopeless. You feel like maybe there's nothing I can do about it. Feel very hopeless or even helpless. Nothing that you can be done. Or you may have lost your interest in activities. Maybe perhaps last time you used to like certain sports, or you like to do certain things. Then now, yeah, you lost interest. You don't feel like you want to do it anymore. And gradually, earlier just now I mentioned about you feel so isolated. It's just like I'm just me alone, just me alone. Nobody is there to help me anymore. And then you feel very withdrawn. Maybe you feel start to withdraw yourself from your family members, or even your relatives, or even friends. So these are just some of the signs and symptoms that caregivers need to look out for. But of course, there are actually more, that some of us might even experience, especially if you have taken care of someone before, or if you are taking care of someone at the moment. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, just show you some little pictures that I put up. Yeah, like tired, your battery go no juice anymore, and then you get frequent illness, sometimes changes in our appetite, sleeping patterns. So these are some of the things that you want to look out for, and just to make sure that you don't get this. Of course, sometimes, yes, it's true that we are looking after someone. Of course, you feel tired because sometimes you put in a lot of time and effort, yeah, a lot of energy go into it, obviously. But we also need to regulate, to see what are the signs and symptoms, like just earlier I just mentioned, yeah, and how to learn to take care of yourself. Yeah, so when you suffer burnout, yeah, everything just go haywire. You just sometimes you don't even know what to do and how to manage it. Yeah. So that's where self-care comes in. Yeah. So in self-care, meaning that caregivers also need to look after ourselves. So honestly, like I mean, many of us would think that, oh, our loved ones are very important. Of course they are important. But then we as caregivers are just as important as well, right? Self-care can means like taking the time to do things that can help us live well, and improve our physical health and mental health. Okay, self-care can also help us to manage our stress, lower our risk of illness, right? And also increase our energy. Even small acts of self-care, just a little bit, just care for yourself a little bit, in everyday life can have a big impact. Okay, yeah, so these are what I have mentioned. Okay, and one of the things that we can take care of ourselves. You see from the picture, this guy is running. Yeah, stay fit, get your regular exercise. Okay, just exercise doesn't mean that you have to go running, you have to go for marathon, or you have to go to the gym and all this. It's not necessary. Yeah. Some of us might not have the time, or sometimes we are also not able to do certain vigorous exercise. But just say spend 30 minutes of walking, just walk for 30 minutes every day, can actually help to boost our mood and also improve our health. Yeah. And when we exercise, our body actually release this happy hormone or feel good hormone, which is called endorphins. This hormone actually also help us to reduce stress. So if we are staying, make sure that we stay active, we exercise, the body actually produce this feel good and happy hormones. Actually it help us also to reduce stress. Why not? Yeah. And walking is very easy. It's one of the easiest sport, I would say, to do, because we do all the time. Every day we are walking. Yeah. So sometimes small amount exercise will add up. Many a times, many say, "Aya, I'm very busy lah, to take care of my mom or my dad, or whoever that's at home that need, my care. Where got the time? I don't have the time." Actually, this is not true. I mean, a small amount of exercise, just spend a little bit of time, it will add up every time. And don't be discouraged, if you can't do like, oh, I don't have 30 minutes at one go. I don't have that kind of time. But maybe you want to say spread out your exercise time, during the day. Maybe 15 minutes in the morning, and then 15 minutes in the evening, and then it becomes 30 minutes already, right? Yeah. So or maybe 10 minutes at this time, and then maybe another 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and then you spread out. Within the one day, you already covered 30 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So just a little bit, it adds up. Okay. Yeah. And then the next thing, yeah. So from the pictures, you can tell I want to talk about food and water. Okay. So eat healthy, regular meals, and stay hydrated. So a well-balanced diet, okay, and of course plenty of water provide the nutrients, for our body, and also would boost our immune system. So healthy diet also help to improve like our energy, and also help us to able to focus, or concentrate throughout the day. And of course, we also need to reduce certain types of food, in our diet. For example, certain things that we need to avoid, like don't put too much salt, or any kind of sauce that is very salty. Okay. You can, but just don't put too much. There are a lot of times that we over uh, you know put too much into our food, and then end up very salty, and then or too much sugar, or sometimes we use too much oil. So if you are able to cook at home, I think that would be the best, because you can regulate how much to use, how much oil, sugar, or salt, or any kind of sauce. Okay. Yeah. And then of course enough water every day. Keep yourself very hydrated. You know Generally most of us take about, say, 8 cups a day. But of course also depends on yourself, or if you have a strict diet, or limited, or fluid intake. Let's say, for example, it's from your doctor saying that you cannot take certain food, or cannot take too much of water, or how much water you can take. Yeah, then just follow. Yeah, follow what your dietitian or your doctors advise you. But they're generally, as a guide, we take about 8 cups a day. Okay. Yeah. And of course limit your intake of alcohol. If you drink a lot of beer or spirits, yeah, try to reduce it. Maybe sweet stuff, sweet food, or sweet drinks, or carbonated beverages, you can take, just that don't take too much lah. Not throughout the whole day. It's like every cup is like coffee, every cup is a soft drink. Yeah, try to limit your intake on all these beverages. Okay. Yeah. And then the next one, we want to talk about sleep. Okay. Sufficient sleep is really important. Perhaps that you might want to, stick to a schedule and make sure that you are getting enough sleep every day. Sleep, say, about 7 to 8 hours a day. Some of us might sleep a little bit more. I do know that people sleep only about 6 to 7 hours. There are also people who sleep 9 to 10 hours. Yeah. But as long as it's a kind of routine for you and it's sufficient for you, yeah. Yeah. So, but generally it's about 7 to 8 hours, okay, of sleep daily. And of course, when you're well rested, you will also have a better concentration. You are also more productive and also able to take care of, like, everyday life, stressful situation, and then you can manage it better. And also, blue light from our cell phone or computer screens, can make it harder to fall asleep, especially you know and we are, watch TV, or we are playing on the computer, or we are playing on our phone, always before bedtime. And then after that, they realize that it's so bright, we just cannot sleep. And, you don't fall asleep so easily. So maybe, can reduce the blue light exposure from your phone or your computers, before bedtime will be very good. Yeah, so that you can have a well-rested sleep, every night. Yeah. Okay, so these are the things. What about the other aspects of self-care? You look at the pictures, people are the two of them, wow, so relaxing, right? Sitting on the chair. Yeah. So maybe you want to try a relaxation kind of or relaxing activities. Say you want to explore relaxation or some wellness program, which may include like meditation, breathing exercises, or do yoga. Yeah. Or maybe you don't like to do this kind of stuff. Maybe you want to try maybe listening to music, or maybe you like to sing or read, or maybe write, I don't know, whatever you like it, anything that you enjoy, or something that can keep you relaxed. Or maybe some people do gardening, they also feel very relaxing. Yeah. Or maybe you just don't feel like doing anything, you just simply want to chill out, yeah. So just sit on a nice, comfortable chair and then relax yourself. So, you can actually schedule regular times for these healthy activities that you enjoy, and at the same time, it can help you to relax, right? Yeah. So next, we want to talk about these two things, patient and being compassionate. Okay, these are actually two crucial qualities for being an effective caregiver. It is a head start to provide supportive care to your loved one, especially when providing care for family members living in the same household. Yeah. So the nature of providing care for loved ones at home can be very challenging, you see. So when, caregiving becomes very challenging, that's where the stress, will start to build up, and sometimes it can lead to certain behavior, something not very nice, very challenging behavior, I would say. As such, like both the care recipient and the caregivers, they can react impulsively and then become agitated with each other. And times, they might disagree, or argument, or even quarrel will start to set in, and then that's where the relationship become very sour. And so therefore, be patient, when handling our loved ones, and, showing care and concern, towards them. The next one is about communication skills. Okay. Communication involves, like eye contact, expression, verbal, body language, etc. Okay. Good communication skills can be fostered, okay, by listening actively, to the other party, and then also to understand where they are coming from, or what they are trying to tell us. When discussing important matters, speaking face to face, right, is often better than just texting or just a phone call. And and this can actually minimize misunderstanding. Whatever that, there is certain, clarification if you are able to face each other and then you talk about, especially it is a say a very important matter. Okay, and of course this also would apply to managing, our elderlies at home, like our elderly parents. Say if, especially if they have like conditions like dementia or cognitive impairment, who may have, difficulty in expressing themselves, and when they cannot express themselves, they start to get, and they start to get act up. Wow, they start to, yeah, sometimes a little bit irrational. All right. Try not to argue with them. Instead, maybe soothe them, speak slowly and then clearly, and then gently find out, what is the matter, what happened. Yeah, yeah. You also can like maybe touch them when you speak, maybe such as holding their hands, can also be very helpful, to get their attention. Yeah, and also to show that you care. In fact, over time, right, you'll be able to understand them, better, especially their behavior, and then, you'll be able to respond accordingly. Particularly if you are new, um, um, when you are looking after someone like a loved one, and then doctors say that, oh, say for example, it's my mom or my dad has certain illness, and then yeah, when you are new caregivers, and then that's where, this miscommunication starts to set in, because you're not sure how to take care of that person, and then you cannot understand. So sometimes a little bit of practice or communication skill will actually help. Okay, yeah. And sometimes you can also use like visual aids. Okay, visual aids like pictures, photos, or even the physical thing. Like, let's say for example, you want to ask your mom, your dad, what do you like to eat? Maybe you show them the vegetable. Oh, then you look at it. Oh, yeah, yeah, this is what they want to eat. Or you show them, something. Or let's say you don't have the physical thing, you show them the pictures, or just show them a photo. Maybe they might be able to understand, and then they might point to you, and then you can respond to them better. Okay, yeah. And then of course, effective communication will help you to better understand the needs of your loved ones, and better coordinate care with your other family members, or even the healthcare providers, for example, doctors. Okay, yeah. We talk about the other aspect. Now we want to talk about, say, organization and time management. So how do you organize yourself and how to manage your time? Okay, yeah. So caregivers have many things, to keep track of their loved one, such as like their daily routine, medication, appointment, daily expenses, and oh, you name it. Yeah, you have it. So many things to take care of. Yeah. So finding a manageable schedule can help to develop like habits, and can manage your expectation, to care needs, and also give you the opportunity to make sure that you have time for your own needs. So maybe keeping a detailed calendar or a journal can also help you to manage your time more efficiently, and even keep abreast of any new information, or even like changes, or events, new things coming in. Yeah. And understanding your limitation and planning ahead will also, reduce any gaps in like coverage, or enabling you to schedule work around appointments, or even to reach out for caregiving support whenever that is, necessary. Do avoid like placing like unnecessary stress, or expectation on yourself. Perhaps that you want to find a, pocket of time, and you could schedule some me time. Yeah. Caring for yourself is important. Bear in mind. Okay. Yeah. And sometimes this kind of small little pocket of me time are important to you, to help you to recharge, and then to regain your perspective. And during your me time, you could focus on things that you enjoy. Maybe you could tap on like some of your other family members, or maybe engage, some cleaning service to help you with some light housekeeping of the house, and to give you the break that you need. Okay, yeah. So that's me time. So also create a respite zone. Yeah. With me time to recharge yourself. Okay, you need to recharge your battery. Battery flat already, so you need to care for yourself often. Okay, so respite zone, yeah. What is this respite zone? Or it's actually just to create a space for yourself to take a break. Okay. Of course, first and foremost, you must know where the place is lah. Find a suitable space or a room, yeah, in your house, or maybe just a balcony, bedroom or study room, yeah. And then also find the time that you will use it. Maybe during your loved one's napping time, or maybe someone is coming over to help you to take care of them, so they take over your caregiving duties, yeah. Okay, and then maybe you want to look at what you want to do. Maybe, yeah, during this me time, I want to read, I want to write, um, I want to do yoga or meditation or anything that you enjoy. Okay, or maybe listen to music. And then, of course, modify according to your needs lah, the space itself. Maybe you want to have a comfortable chair, maybe a lamp, or maybe a headset, maybe because you want to listen music, yeah, then you want to have a earphone or something. So pick whatever is necessary lah, for your respite activities. Okay, emotional awareness. So as a caregiver, there may be times when you become too focused on the needs of your loved one, and then you place your own needs on hold. Yeah, because you keep on taking care of someone, you forgot to take care of yourself. So every time you put, I let mine hold on first, Yeah. So it is useful to be aware of your own emotional state, and to take preemptive action before you become overwhelmed. Caregivers burnout can have significant impact on your health, and also ability to continue to support the care for your loved one. So understanding our emotion allow us to become aware of the triggers, so that we can gain insight on how to respond in a constructive ways. So managing our emotion will help us to make better decision, whether this decision is big or small. Okay, yeah. And then also to accepting our emotions also allow us to view our thoughts, our perspective also more objectively. Okay, so instead of making like negative judgment, like don't think well of ourselves, or on others, yeah. So maybe ways that we can process our emotions. We can maybe write down our thoughts, talk to a friend, or maybe just go for a walk, do some exercise or meditation. Okay, so sometimes people will think that, when I do all this also doesn't help lah. Talk to a friend, what's the use? Yeah, but the thing is that even though there are times where there's no immediate solution that can be found for that problem, but then the thing is that a friend, if you talk to them, they can actually offer you emotional support. If you share with them, sometimes they may even comfort you. Okay, and of course, if you think that maybe I don't talk to a friend, I do exercise. Yeah, so actually exercise also help us to clear our mind, and then we can think better. And then this endorphin that produce in our body also help us to feel good. Yeah, make us feel happy, and then also to reduce the stress. Okay, I have a video. Hopefully I can play from here. It's called Caring for Our Mental Well-being. You let me know whether you can hear it or not. Is there any sound? Is there any sound? No sound, huh? Yeah. I'm not sure how to create the sound from here. Unless I play it from the YouTube. You just give me a second, huh? I see if I can share. Let me see. I'm not sure how to play from here. If I play from YouTube, I'm not sure whether I can play it from here. Just hold on. If I cannot play, then not sure. Because I don't hear the sound from here. Maybe I'll just keep the video lah. Maybe next time. Let me go back to where it is. Yeah. Okay. Really, I'm not sure how to play this because I don't hear the sound. But anyway, the video is actually about what I have said earlier lah, about how to take care of yourself. Maybe later I will put the link in the chat box. Then when you all are free, then you can go to YouTube and watch it. It's only like a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, very short video. Basically, it's talking about how about self-care, taking care of your mental wellness. Yeah. Like earlier I said, keeping yourself like communication skills and how to take care of yourself, doing meditation, doing some exercise, walking, eating well, and so on. So basically, this the video itself is actually what I have covered earlier. Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. Will be on gratitude and thankfulness. Okay. So thankfulness is actually a emotion, or gratitude is an attitude or appreciation under any circumstances. And of course, gratitude also involves thankfulness, being thankful. So it's very easy for us to feel thankful when good things happen. But when you express your thankfulness and being appreciative of your daily life, even when nothing good happens, right, you'll find yourself more joyful and happier. So one of the things that you can do is I start maybe a gratitude journal. So this journal can be very simple or elaborated. But as a guide, usually we will like think of 3 things. So you can write it down or you can record it, in whatever ways you want to do it. But the main thing is that the key is to find a way, to be consistent, writing down your gratitude, journal. Like say, for example, one of the 3 things that you can do is like you can write down things like maybe you're just being thankful because of the good weather today that you can go out. Or a friend sent you a very meaningful message and then that encourages you, or even a family member that helps to wash dishes after meals. So every day, maybe you want to practice like write down these 3 items that you're thankful for every day. Yeah. So and another way is to besides writing the journal, you can also write. Besides that, you can also do meditation. Whatever that you feel like is you're comfortable to do, or maybe you want to volunteer. Find some organization that maybe you feel very interested, then ask them what kind of opportunity you can be to help others. So when we help others, we also, reminded all that we also have, and also instantly we feel very grateful. And then the next one is to spend time with your loved ones. It's also an effective way, to remain grateful. Having close friends and family also help us to feel supported and loved. Yeah, and then at the same time, you can, create these good memories, gratitude memories or thankful memories. Yeah. And the next one will be maybe giving things to other people. Find things in your house that you don't use anymore, and then why not donate it to the charity? I'm sure some of us might have a lot of things lying around. Maybe we can, clear them out. And then by giving to others, you also, brighten the person's day, with whatever that we are helping them. So when we help others, we also feel more joyful and happier. Okay. And then the next one we want to talk about is about being positive, all right? Positive thinking or optimistic lah, okay? It's the practice of focusing on the good in any kind of, situation. So it can also have a very big impact on your physical and mental wellness. Like, for example, health benefits, you can actually live longer, better physical health, maybe you can manage your stress better, you can tolerate pain as well. And then maybe mental benefits would be like maybe you become, or rather you help you to be more creative, you're thinking clearer, you also can cope stress better, and and maybe also reduce sadness and depression. So ways to maintain positive, smile, always smile, yeah, and then look for humor. Maybe spend time with people who are very humorous, always make you laugh. Yeah, so you're always smiling and laughing, and then reframe your situation is when sometimes bad things like happens go out of control. But then the day, instead of maybe getting upset, you can try to appreciate the good part of the situation. Like if you're stuck in a jam, you can always like think about positively. Oh, instead of thinking like, oh yeah, I got a jam, caught in a jam. Maybe you think about, that there are people who don't even own a car, or there's no proper transportation for them to travel from one place to another. So maybe while you're stuck there, maybe just listen to music or program, that you enjoy. Yeah. And then also maybe you want to focus on your strength. Like each day for the week, think about your personal strength. Like maybe you are a person who is very kind, think about how you want to use that strength for that day, and then yeah, act on it. Maybe if your strength is someone who is very kind, then maybe you find someone who is who is very down on that day, very sad, then maybe you just comfort him. Yeah. So as you're helping someone, you're also helping yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing we want to talk about will be probably the last one, almost the last, connecting with other people. Okay, so reaching out can mean like connecting with someone that we trust, and this person can be maybe a family member, a relative, or even a very close friend. Yeah, and maybe you also want to say join a support group for caregivers to connect with other people who are in the same situation as you. Or maybe worst come to worst, maybe you really need to speak to someone, maybe see a therapist or a counselor, or even if you have a religion, maybe your spiritual advisor. Yeah. So sometimes, engaging professional help, like for example, go for counseling or therapy. But the thing is that they also can provide you with invaluable support, for you. Yeah. They can like provide a safe space for you to freely express yourself, your emotion, talk through about the challenges that you are facing, or and to develop like healthy coping mechanisms to better manage your stress, anxiety, or burnout. Okay, so professional help doesn't mean that means nothing, but actually sometimes it also can offer you alternative perspective, or maybe show you the resources that may be able to help you or support you. At times, I do know also people like they engage professional caregivers, like someone, a nurse or a nursing aide or a professional caregivers that actually comes in and to help them, which will also allow you to take some time, for yourself. So at least you can have a breather, Yeah. And at the same time, you also know that your loved ones' care needs are being taken care of. So when we talk about thoughts and feeling with someone, sometimes we honestly, right, we also get connected with the other person or others, the people that you engage with, and you connected with, and we often realize that hey, we are not alone. Yeah. So in NTUC, we in our NTUC Health rather, we have this we run actually a caregiver support group. So our caregiver support group involved like we have a WhatsApp chat group where where all the caregivers are together, we are connected, to share some like useful articles or information to each other. Sometimes it's just greetings, among ourselves, and then to share experience, sometimes we do, or sometimes we may also, uh, um, you know, supporting each other doesn't mean like you have to talk to the person physically. Sometimes like everybody is staying so different in different areas. So sometimes this chat group also help us to connect all of us together. And we also have a program where we call Take a Break, all right? And this is actually our regular gathering, you know, so where we are together and then having, let's say, we conduct like events or activities. So some of the things that we have done, like previously we taught them how to do microgreen gardening. So in the picture itself, this is miao, so you can grow. So we grow this and then we just harvest it and then we can cook and then we just share, you know, with the family. So these are some activities that we learn, and then we also can, you know, do it at home. And then we also conduct talks like this, so face-to-face talks or maybe virtual. During COVID, yeah, everything is in, you know, online, yeah. And then we have this little craft, art and craft program. So yeah, so something to do together and have fun, yeah. And then this is some of our pictures. Previously, we did this, yeah. So some drawings and all this, and this is also a talk itself, yeah. So yeah, so basically is what I'm trying to share is like, you know, if you are taking care of someone and you find that, yeah, I'm alone now, you know, there's nobody to support you, but there are actually a lot of caregivers out there who are more than willing to help each other. So basically, why we created this support group is actually to bring all the caregivers together to support one another. Okay. Some additional resources you can find, whether if you are just, you know, starting out as a caregiver, yeah, you are looking after someone, you know, recently, or you maybe you already taking care of someone many years ago, but maybe this is some of the information that you think that it would be helpful to you. So we source out a few of these. These are from AIC website. These are free. You can always go to their website and then you can download it. And then, yeah, they also have some physical booklets as well. Yeah. So, but we pick a few of these lah. So they have quite a lot lah, all different kinds of resources that you can tap on. So so we thought that we'll share with you. So if you think that is helpful, you can always yeah, have a look. Yeah. Okay. So that's end of my talk. It's already 3:06. Yeah, I overshot a little bit of time. Yeah. So do you all have any questions or maybe something we want to share? I saw let me see. Anything you would like to share? I think Wani wants to take a picture, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we just take a picture and then maybe if you want to stay on to have a little bit chat and talk and or you want to share about your caregiving journey, yeah, feel free. I'm here all ears for you to listen. Okay. Yeah. So maybe we just take a picture. If you want to turn on your video, yeah, please do. So Wani, should I stop sharing?
Yeah,
Or
I can take photo now.
oh, you can take. Do I need to stop?
Yeah.
No need, huh? Okay,
No
let's. Okay. All right.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you. I think also if you can also can help us to give us some feedback. I think there's a feedback form, yeah, on the chat itself. Yeah. Then you can yeah. Today everyone's very quiet. And then of course lastly, yeah, Radimas have already posted the QR code for you all to scan. So maybe you want to scan for your points. I think this is passion card, right? Yeah. Is there anything anybody want to share? First, taking of my grandparents, my father. My father recently, so if someone tell me about caregiving, yeah, I'm the one that you can talk to. Yeah, I spent a long time looking after my father. until he passed on. Yeah. So, you know, if any one of you actually have find it, yeah, I have taken care of someone who is very, very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, because you need to put in a lot of effort and time, you know, very exhausting. Sometimes even have to give up your job. Yeah. So, yeah, but of course there's also joy in it, lah, you know, you feel connected. Yeah. Maybe, I think that's about it, yeah. So I think if there's no questions or there's no sharing, then we will end our session. Thank you for everyone's participation. Yeah. Next week will be a public holiday, it's a Deepavali, so there's no session. So we will have the following week, which is on the 20th. So on the 20th will be the same talk, except that we will be presenting it in Chinese. Yeah, so it's in Mandarin. So most probably I will be around. Maybe my colleague might do the presentation, but yeah, I will stick around. So thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, I will see you then. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Radhima.
Thank you, Sudan.
Yeah, you're welcome. See you again. I think I will log off lah. Okay. Right.
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Yeah. See you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.